What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Rise of Tryhards. I have migrated to a different kingdom. There was a big civil war in our 3508. I've migrated to 3505, and I feel like right now I have found a player that is a tiny bit better than me. I've been having a tough time fighting against him. Right now I'm, I don't know, fifth or something. But this guy beats me a lot. And I want to kind of go through the journey I had with him. I spent a lot of matches in the past day fighting this guy. And I want to show you what I did. And I don't have all the matches saved because some of them timed out. But I want to just go through. I created a little presentation to show off you guys. I got beat. I got beat once, and then I was able to beat him, and then I got beat again. So I was telling my friend Logic Bank in chat, like, this dude's hard. Like, I would need to try to beat him. How would you attack this arrangement? So this is this player's team. He has an expertise Sun Tzu, an expertise Minamoto, and an expertise Joan. And his primary commanders are 54, 50, 56, 50, and 53. Now, you wouldn't necessarily think like, hey, if you remember from my last video, I have commanders in the high 50s. He has commanders mostly in the low 50s. I should be able to beat him, right? Here's the problem. This guy is VIP 14, which gives him a plus 5% troop capacity just by being VIP. So I have to be 5% better than him in order to beat him. So I was asking Logic Bank, like, hey, how would you attack this arrangement? And I gave him also, here's the setup. Here was the setup yesterday when I first started butting heads. He had Minamoto in his off lane up here. And if you look back, like, his City Keeper is level 50, but he's got 99,750 troops. A level 50 City Keeper should only have, like, I think 92,000, but he has an extra 7,000 troops. So it makes it like a lot easier being VIP 14. But I'm not gonna complain about that. I'm gonna find a way to beat him. So I asked Logic Bank, like, hey, here's his arrangement. How would you beat him? Because I won once and I lost twice to this by swapping in all kinds of different commanders and all kinds of different. I pulled out all the tricks and I couldn't beat him. So Logic Bank suggested, have you tried a race? You 4-march Minamoto, and you put your City Keeper with Scipio on everybody else. So that looks like having everybody target this Minamoto, and then City Keeper just tank all 4 of these, was his suggestion. So Minamoto with Sun Tzu in front, Baibars with Joan right below that. So that's Minamoto, Sun Tzu, Minamoto, Joan, Baibars, and then down here, he's suggesting bottom left, City Keeper. If all goes well, your 2 tanks die, and it ends with Minamoto, my Minamoto versus his archers down here in the bottom right. That's archers. Cavalry counters archers. So he was suggesting this is a way to get rid of the Minamoto and then survive. He says a race to the end, and I end up with more troops at the end. So that was his idea, and I did it, and I was like, hey, that's a comfortable win. His Minamoto died at 1 minute 40 seconds. So that was usually you don't have any troops die in the first minute before like 1:30. So getting his Minamoto dead at 1:40 was really great. And I said with Minamoto out of the way, it was pretty easy. And then I said he will probably stop exposing his Minamoto like that. The race was a beautiful tactic. It worked wonderfully. Unfortunately, I don't have this race saved. It timed out. It expired. I do have the stats from it. So you can see actually I had 3 marches still alive at the end of this. Whereas before, with the way I was trying to attack him before, lining up evenly across from him, 2v2 versus 2v2 versus 1v1, I was losing consistently. And with the race tactic, I won with 3 marches remaining. And his archers, just like Logic Bank suggested, his archers lasted the longest. His archers took out a lot of my troops. His archers did more damage than anybody else, but it was enough. And goodness, City Keeper died quick. He was only able to take out 58,000, even though the expertise Scipio is doing extra counterattack. But it worked. And that was his arrangement. These were his pairings. He had, if you remember, I pointed this out already, Sun Tzu paired up with Martel, City Keeper with Joan, Minamoto Cao, Baibars Ethelfled, and Thutmose Mehmed. This was the march that lasted the longest because it was tucked away in the corner, and it did the most damage. So he then changed his arrangement, just like I suggested, like, hey, he's probably going to stop exposing his Minamoto like that. He did change it. This is how it was. Oh, okay, so let's see. He changed it to instead have his City Keeper up here in the corner. And so then I attacked him again to test this out. His City Keeper was up here. His archers were then, he moved his archers, when he rearranged, he moved his archers to be in the front, in the tank position, and his Sun Tzu was here, and I think this was his Baibars, and this was his Minamoto. So I then changed my arrangement. I put my City Keeper across from his City Keeper. 1v1, that's just really just taking those two guys just like out of the way. And then we're left with a 4v4. So I put my my Sun Tzu, probably my strongest tank, across from his strongest tank. I put my archers across from that strong tank to try to get rid of this infantry as quickly as possible. And then he exposed his archers. So I'm like, you bet, if you're going to expose your archers, I'm going to take my Minamoto and whack your archers. So we did this fight, and I won. And this time I had 4 marches remaining. We can actually see, I think we can see this fight. I have it. I think it is, I think it's this one. Let's watch. Yeah, I think it's this one. So let's watch this fight. Again, the City Keepers are City Keepers, and then this is my Minamoto, and he is going to target those archers. If you put your archers in front, I'm going to put my Minamoto on your archers and wipe out your archers. Uh-oh. My internet connection here is not the best. I am currently in Canada on vacation, but making a video because it's been a while since I made a video. So let's replay this again. And again, he put his archers in the front row. And when someone puts archers in the front row, we get to wipe them out with our Minamoto. It's the rules. So this was a great fight for me. With his archers in the front, the Minamoto was able to take out those. I think this was probably the first march to die. Archers just, I mean, he has strong archer march too, but he's an archer main, and he's a very strong army. But archers are going to melt when facing an expertise level 58 Minamoto. So those archers went down. His City Keeper Martel, I think is what it is. Yep. Is stronger than my City Keeper Scipio, and it's fine because they're just up there doing their thing up top, and like, who cares? Everybody else down here is getting schwacked. So my siege march did die, but if we continue to watch this thing, all that's left here is his Minamoto, and then I still have 4 marches to go clean up that City Keeper. So that was a great win. Let me go back to my PowerPoint presentation. Slideshow. I made a PowerPoint for you guys, how much I love you. Okay, the next fight. He then changed his arrangement. No, he started attacking me now. So my arrangement, recall, I have infantry, siege, infantry, and behind cavalry, archers. So he then targeted my infantry here with archers. I'm like, dude, like, why would you do that? Like, infantry counters archers. His marches are, I'll say this, his marches are stronger than my marches. If he just rearranges these, he'll beat me every time, which I'll show you towards the end of this video. But I was able to win this match because he used his archers ineffectively. He uses archers 1v1 versus my infantry. It's like, it just wasn't good. So I ended up, even though he had that misarrangement, I still only barely won. I had one march folia. Well, I had 42,000 troops left. We can actually watch that match as well. I don't know why I keep doing this. Let me just switch over to here. So I think that was this match here. Yeah, let's replay this. So, his archers are better than my City Keeper Scipio. My City Keeper here does not do much damage. But he has, archers counter, not only do they counter, not only does infantry counter archers, but most infantry at high level will have the talent to do 9% more damage. So even though his archers are far, far superior to my infantry, it's like, I'm taking out his archers 1v1 with a much weaker march because his infantry. If he had just changed, and we'll see later, if he had just changed his marches, he's attacking. You see, he's on the left, I'm on the right. He can choose to put his marchers wherever he wants. So he chose to target my infantry off march with archers. Like, dude, don't do that. Yes, he took it out, but by this time I still have 3 marches, and his archers are half dead, and I'm able to stand up. Even despite his mistake, he almost beats me. So that shows you he's actually better than me. What he has is VIP. He has VIP 14, which he has more troops than I do, and his equipment is actually better than mine. He's been number 1 in this server basically since it began. It sounds like I was able to beat him that time. We go to the next. Oh, why do I keep doing that? Over here. Okay. So I was talking to somebody else. So first time he targeted my crappy City Keeper march with his archers. I don't care about City Keeper. He's just there to divert attention. So the next time, I think he learned from that. He's like, oh, right. Don't target his infantry with archers. So he put his archers. Wait a minute. I think this is we'll watch this march. We'll watch this attack in just a minute. This is a cavalry. It looks like his archers, he swapped out. Yeah, here we go. Look at this. He swapped out one of his infantry and put a full siege march in. And he went siege to siege. So he's putting a siege march right across from my siege march. And he put his archers behind that. So it's just head-to-head the same march type. But the thing is, he doesn't have Matilda. I have Matilda, so my siege march is far stronger. He is using Joan and Julius Caesar. It's just like he's wishing right now he has Matilda. I did talk to him. He is wishing he had Matilda. He doesn't have Matilda. So this again was a win. It was barely a win though. So you can see he is a stronger player than I am, and his power is over double mine. But I'm able to squeeze out victories because I have commanders that fit together, and he's using commanders that they don't fit right together. We can watch that match. So we'll see his siege up against my siege in the middle. This time he did target my infantry. Well, he targeted my infantry with cavalry. Let's see. Infantry, I guess the last match actually probably would have been better because infantry actually counters cavalry, not archers. So that was my mistake. I shouldn't talk so badly about him before. But his marchers are way stronger than mine. So he's going to win here again. But in the middle, his Joan is with Julius Caesar here. And my Joan is with Matilda. So my Joan is going to outlast his Joan and keep giving the buff. Even when Joan is, 14,000 troops. We're going to see in just a minute. Bam! She does the full 30% buff. And let's see if she lives long enough to give another one. Joan is 6,000 troops. Bam! Another 30% buff. Joan is 3,000 troops. Joan is almost ready to die, and she did die. But if she lived another second, it would be 30% buff, 30% buff. She doesn't have to have massive troops remaining in order to give her 30% buff. Now, Minamoto, if he has 3,000 troops, he's not doing much damage. But when Joan has only 3,000 troops left, she is basically just as effective as when she has 100,000 troops left. So despite his Joan Caesar selection, I barely won. I had, what did I have? Like 18,000 troops left here. So I'm just barely squeezing out victories here. And then that's as far as I got. Like, I then tried to start changing things around, and like, can I beat him? So the next match, I targeted him, and I changed my marches around a little bit. I put, let's see, what did I do differently this time? I put Mehmed with Minamoto. Let's just watch it. I don't actually remember what happened here. But this was a close match, but I lost. And so I put City Keeper again, and I just went against him. Now this time he is not using a siege march anymore. He's back to using his 2 infantry, 2 cav. So when he has his 2 cavalry down here at the bottom, it's going to wipe out my my siege march. It was much easier to take out his Joan Julius Caesar siege, because Julius Caesar is not contributing much to the fight, so I had an easier time. But once he switched back to, in this case, he's using Joan to lead his archer march, and then he has his infantry, his 2 infantry, and then 2 cavalry, and he's too strong. He's too strong. With the VIP 14, I couldn't overcome this the troop advantage. I was close as we continue watching this. My City Keeper Scipio is not as strong as his City Keeper Martel. My Martel is growing up, though. My Martel right now is, I think, 5-2-1-1, and it's getting better. It's not good enough yet to put in to replace Scipio. So eventually I'm going to be able to beat this, because at this point I would have had Martel Scipio, and I would be higher than him, and I could have won this. But right now, with my, I have really poor equipment on City Keeper, and his City Keeper with his Martel is stronger. Even though we're able to get down to 2v1 there, like, I just don't have that many troops left, and it ended up that he was able to pull out the W, because right now with such a low troop count, I'm just not doing that much damage. So I couldn't pull that one out. And the next time I was like, all right, well, he has 2. Let's look and see what happened this time. I changed the arrangement again. I was like, okay, this time I'm going to swap my Sun Tzu and Joan. So I put my Joan in the middle and my Sun Tzu at the bottom. So I was thinking maybe like, okay, well, I can put my Sun Tzu infantry against these 2 cavalry and put Minamoto behind him. Maybe my Sun Tzu can counter these 2 cavalry, because when 2 cavalry are in a line, that whole row, you should be able to counter them with infantry, right? I was thinking. So I did do pretty well. His Minamoto died right before my Sun Tzu died, but they died at about the same time. And then behind that, we had Baibars versus my Minamoto, and Minamoto won that. But in the middle, it was not good, because his Sun Tzu outlasted my Joan, and his archers, he has a really strong archer march. It's really impressive. I think we can go look and see what his archer is from the tournament, but I think his Thutmose is like 5.5, 3.2 or something like that. It's pretty strong. So because my City Keeper can't go 1v1, his City Keeper's stronger, and his archer is stronger than my archer, we can't go 1v1 here. So I lose both these 1v1s. His archers take out my archers, and his city keeper takes out my city keeper. And yeah, his city keeper and his archers versus my city keeper, it's not enough. I couldn't overcome that. He is just a stronger player than I am, and I'm leveling up. And when I get 2 more levels, I can overcome that VIP 14 disadvantage. So the last fight I want to tell you, I was just telling you about how when 2 cavalry are in a line, they can be countered with infantry. So I had a crazy idea, like kind of desperate. This was my worst loss by far. He had all 5 marches still up at the end. But watch what I tried to do. This was stupid. Don't do this. But I put 2 infantry in a row. I put my city keeper in front and my Sun Tzu behind. So I had 2 infantry versus his 2 cavalry. I thought, okay, well, if he's going to put his 2 cavalry in a row, like I'll just put 2 infantry across from him, and that will counter him. One problem with this is if I use both infantry on the bottom, what do I do up top? Remember, I had city keeper up here. I got to move Joan up there. It's the only option. And now Joan is out of range of this, and city keeper's dead at 127. When you have a commander that dies like at 127, it's too soon. So now Sun Tzu is targeted by both cavalry. The middle row can't hold up because I was using a cavalry as a tank. And then it's 3v1 on my Sun Tzu, and up top, my Joan did okay against his city keeper. My Joan was probably a stronger tank 1v1 versus his city keeper than my city keeper was, which is cool for Joan Matilda. Unfortunately, the rest of the marches fell. So he had literally 5 marches still up, and I was like, oh dang, I lost 4 in a row. So that I don't know where to go from here. I'm not going to fight him right now. I'm going to try and get the top 3 just like I did on my last server, and I'm going to level up. So that's what you do. When you're weaker, you keep leveling up. You keep working on equipment, and you try to stay in the top 3 so that you can get gold keys every day. Let's go look at the tournament, and we're going to see what his Thutmose is. I think he's in one of the first divisions. He did win his last round. Here he is. So his Thutmose, which has been rocking me, 5551. That is a super crazy strong Thutmose, and his Mehmed behind the Thutmose is 5511. It's so strong. His commander skills are so strong. His Baibars is almost expertise. He's missing 1 level. He's gonna expertise. His Ethelfled 5524, very strong. His Cow 5434. I'm not sure why he did it that way. He's probably trying to make things land in the last skill. Really, really highly skilled team. This is super strong. His Martel, which remember he was pairing with a city keeper from my matches, 5512. Really strong. And his Jones expertise and his son's expertise. So this is going to be a really hard battle. I'm here on 3505. I'm going to keep fighting this guy. I'm going to keep finding the combinations. And when here's what's going to happen. When he makes a mistake, I win. If he doesn't make a mistake, I'm going to lose. So I just wait for him to make mistakes. I target then. And if he's not making mistakes, I avoid him. And I keep leveling up. So hope you enjoyed that video. This is how to go against one player that's super strong. Oh, if you like that, like this video, please, so other people can see it. And subscribe to my channel so that I like that. Thank you. Bye.